SpiceFM, good morning. I'm Olivia Otieno. This is Double O Direct, safe space for women. And the question is, do you know the difference between a macronutrient and a micronutrient? A massage, which I desperately need, and physiotherapy, which apparently I also need. Well, you will, because this morning I'm joined by two wellness experts. They're professionals. Caroline and Milka, welcome to Double O Direct.
Thank you, Olivia. My name is Caroline Njoroge. I'm a registered nutritionist, but currently working as a senior wellness coordinator at Jubilee Health Insurance.
So what is the overall structure of what a nutritionist does?
A nutritionist, we help with the different types of nutritionists. Yeah? So there are those who specialize.
You say it like I know. I have no idea.
Let me break it down.
Yeah.
So we have nutritionists who specialized in sports. So we have sports nutritionists. We have nutritionists who specialize in children. So they work closely with pediatricians. And then we have the dietitians. So the dietitians is just overall health and your well-being. So things to do with weight loss, things to do with lifestyle diseases. So a dietitian is the go-to person.
Even if you have like an illness that requires a special diet.
Yes.
Like managing diabetics, etc., etc.
Yeah, the chronic diseases, the cardiometabolic diseases, as we call them, yeah. So diabetes, hypertension. So what we do is we tailor-make a plan as per your need, a nutrition plan. So if you are diabetic, you're told to follow like a low high fiber diet. When it comes to hypertension, there are certain restrictions that we need to adhere to. Like salt, yeah, sodium.
What kind of dietitian are you? What kind of nutritionist are you?
I'm a dietitian.
Oh, fantastic. Milka, tell me everything about you and physiotherapy. You have 2 minutes. No, just kidding.
Thank you so much, Olivia. My name is Milka Achieng. I'm a clinical physiotherapist or general physiotherapist. Currently just doing freelance physiotherapy, that is home-based physio. And then what you need to know about physio, physio is also wider. There's a sport physiotherapist, we have a pediatric physiotherapy, ICU physiotherapist, but bottom line is any physiotherapist can do all these things, but with time, physiotherapists specializes into the field that they find they're interested in.
What is the primary purpose of physiotherapy?
The primary purpose of physiotherapy is to rehabilitate you from an injury, from lifestyle diseases, from you have lifestyle diseases, injury, fitness, sports injuries. They just to return you back to wellness.
So my question is, because I've heard of 3 different branches that I always confuse them. Mm-hmm. One is physiotherapy, the other one is osteopathy, and the third one is
chiropractic.
Yes. So how different are those 3? Do you understand the difference between the 3? Because I really don't.
They're not so different per se.
Yes.
It is just, for example, let's say you have a headache.
Yes.
They're different medication to the same headache.
Okay.
Yeah, so physiotherapy, chiro, and osteopath.
Yes.
The difference is not much. But the basis for all these careers is physiotherapy. Like a physiotherapy now can decide they want to be a chiro or they want to be an osteopath, not the other way around. Yeah.
In your wellness journey, as in your whole life, for whatever reason, have you ever consulted with a physiotherapist or a nutritionist? I ask because I have 2 with me this morning. Physiotherapist Milka and nutritionist Caroline. Caroline has just confirmed that she's a registered dietitian, which is fantastic. And I want to understand from you, Milka, a situation where someone might need a physiotherapist. Give me some scenarios.
Situation where you might need a physiotherapist. I talked about when you have lifestyle diseases like diabetes. Advanced diabetes, you might start developing a condition called diabetic neuropathy. Diabetic neuropathy is where now your nerves start acting up because the sugars are coating your nerves. So you'll have issues with sensation and heaviness, movement. The moment your nerves are affected, it will affect your movement. So we coordinate with doctors to manage your sugars. Once we manage your sugars, you start doing physiotherapy to rehabilitate your nerves, and so that you can start feeling. Your nerves can start now operating
Feeling
now.
again.
Yeah,
So you can start moving.
You can start moving again.
Yes.
And then another scenario which is quite common is low back pain. And low back pain is caused by a lot of things. Let's say maybe sitting for so long. That one, in the long term now, is when you notice the effect. Is when you sit for so long, especially at work. You find people working, and someone might sit even the whole day in the office.
Yes.
So you won't feel it on the first day or the first month.
Yes.
But in the long term, you will start having back issues, because now there's the spine. It has disc in between the spine. There's disc. So the longer you sit, the longer your discs are compressed. So with time, it's going to give you muscle sprain and muscle strains.
Question. Sitting, lying down, does it also cause the same lower back pain if you lay down for long periods of time? Let's say you're Netflixing.
No, laying down for a long period of time, it's I think you're not really putting any pressure on the back compared to when you're sitting down.
All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Let's go on to nutrition and understand what we should be eating in our 20s, 30s, and 40s. Actually, what macros are, micros, and vitamins.
So you need to understand the basics of nutrition, yeah?
Yes.
So we have different macronutrients and micronutrients, yeah?
Yes.
So as the name suggests, macronutrients, these are nutrients that are needed in the body in large amounts, yeah? So we're talking about the energy-giving foods like the carbohydrates, fats, and then we have the...
We've been told carbohydrates and fats are the devil. Shaitan. So, and they're telling us they're energy-giving foods.
What I would say is no food is bad. Your behavior towards that food is what matters, yeah? Because ideally the body needs the macronutrients to function. You still need energy at the end of the day. You still need the fats at the end of the day, yeah?
Yes.
So key point is your behavior towards the food is what matters. And then the micronutrients are what the body needs in trace amounts, yeah? And we have the vitamins and we have the minerals. So an examples of vitamins are, we have the fat-soluble vitamins and we have the water-soluble vitamins, yeah? So the fat-soluble vitamins are the ones when you consume, the body stores, yeah? And the water-soluble vitamins are those that when consumed, they're not stored in the body, so you need to replenish on a daily basis.
Give me an example of those ones that need to replenish.
We're talking about the example is the B vitamins. We have vitamin C as well. Vitamin C you get from fruits. Example is the citrus fruits. Citrus fruits are those that have a bitter taste. Pineapples, oranges, tangerine.
So pineapples are citric?
Yes. Anything with that
bitter, like citricy
yes. That's
taste.
how you identify the vitamin C rich foods. Yeah.
Any vegetables that contain vitamin C?
Vegetables. So one way to I would describe is the vitamins and the minerals.
Yes.
Yeah. Always go for the dark green leafy vegetables.
You see, I told you I don't like cabbages. Cabbages! You heard it here, right? I'm not eating you because nutritionist Caroline has told me not to. But of course, there are different types of cabbages. Even the dark, the purple cabbage.
There's always an alternative. If you do not like cabbage,
you
can always opt for another vegetable. You may like the traditional vegetables.
Now, I was just saying because they're not dark green and leafy. Per se. That's what I was mentioning. Yes, I do love the kienyeji vegetables and of course spinach and sukuma wiki.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so one way of identifying foods rich in vitamins is the dark green leafy vegetables. If you're looking for vitamin A, rich foods, you go for those, the colored fruits and vegetables, yeah? Talking about the capsicum, the yellow, the red.
Butternut, carrots?
Yes, pumpkins as well, yeah.
Fantastic. So tell me about the percentage on an average plate, or we can go by meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, if it matters, of what macros should be on that plate. What should we have on that plate?
So you've heard of the diabetic diet, diabetic plate, yeah?
We'll say we have.
Okay. Sorry. So ideally, the biggest portion in your plate should be the vegetable, yeah? And then followed by the protein. It could be animal protein or it could be plant protein. And then the least should be the carbohydrates. And then we also recommend, when you're trying to...
But the average plate, let's be honest, tumeenda kwa harusi. Seeing as how I'm wearing this very large, very opulent gown, nimeweka mchele, chapati, ugali, gonna throw in mokimo,
Kenyan style.
some potatoes, then I think for other things, right? So you're telling me I shouldn't do that?
No, you shouldn't do that.
Uh-huh.
It's not wrong to indulge once in a while, but once in a while is relative. Because to some people, once in a while could be every other day, which is not recommended. But ideally, that is not recommended, because what you're doing when you put your mukimo and then you add rice and then you do chapati and then all that is carbs.
Okay.
So that's too much energy in one plate. And then maybe you add like a piece or two of protein. So ideally, you should balance it. So have more of the veggies.
So tell me, give me examples of those veggies I should have.
Vegetables could include the traditional vegetables. We have...
Where do sweet potato, arrowroot, etc. stand?
Sweet potato, arrowroots, those are carbohydrates.
Because they're vegetables.
No, they are carbohydrates. We have two types of carbohydrates.
Okay.
We have complex carbohydrates
Okay.
and we have simple carbohydrates.
Break it down.
So complex carbohydrates are the ones that are rich in fiber, and ideally that is what we recommend. Yeah. Examples would be the whole grain.
Someone will tell me I ate
cereals.
chips. The only vegetable.
No, chips is also carbohydrate.
Okay.
But it falls under the refined carbohydrates, yeah,
Okay.
not the processed bit of carbohydrate, yeah. So the complex one, the examples would be the whole grain cereals. Another example would be also the arrowroots. We also have the sweet potatoes because they are rich in fiber.
Okay.
And then we have the simple carbohydrates. The simple carbohydrates, what happens in your body once you consume them,
Yes.
the digestion and the assimilation of the simple carbohydrates is much faster than the complex carbohydrates.
Yes.
You notice that when you eat your githeri or when you eat arrowroots, you feel fuller for longer. That's because of the fiber effect.
Yes.
So the digestion takes longer,
Yes.
and also the release of sugar or glucose in the system also takes longer. But for simple carbohydrates, an example would be sucrose, that is table sugar. The moment you consume sugar, it is assimilated directly into the body.
Yes.
Another example would be fructose, which is found in fruits.
Yes.
When you consume, the energy is released directly into the body, so the digestion does not take that much time.
Yes.
So that is why we recommend, you opt for the complex carbohydrates, and especially if you're trying to lose weight, especially if you have an underlying condition like diabetes, hypertension. Yes.
So we're looking at the average Kenyan diet. And we're looking at the vegetables in a typical function buffet. Because you want to start with those vegetables, right? And also how they're prepared. So let's talk about those specific vegetables, which now are not chips, right? Apparently, right? And go into how much of the plate they're supposed to occupy.
Okay. You've mentioned a very important point, the food preparation bit, yeah? Food preparation is very important, especially when it comes to vegetables, yeah?
Yes.
I mentioned we have two types of vegetables. We have the water-soluble and we have the fat-soluble vitamins, yeah?
Yes.
The fat-soluble vitamins include vegetables with vitamin A, D, E, and K, yeah? So ideally, any food that is rich in vitamin A, D, E, and K ideally should be prepared with cooking oil. It's because reason being, for the vitamin to be absorbed and utilized in the body, it requires fat.
So I shouldn't be steaming and blanching them.
Exactly.
You know what blanching is, Milka? Okay, even me, I don't know. But it sounded something technical. We're going to Google it later. So you should cook it. You should prepare it in cooking oil.
Yes, in cooking oil.
So we're talking about my kunde, managu,
yes, your
skuma.
carrots.
Yes.
Yeah, even an example, when people take carrot juice, yeah? So when you blend the juice and you don't add, and there's no aspect of fat or cooking oil there.
But the fat, what if it's in my body? It's waiting
No, it does
for the
not
carrot
work like
juice.
that.
Yeah.
It does not work like that.
All right.
Yeah, because when you consume it, what vitamin...
So juicing is just nonsense. We're going to take a break. I got to play some Nelly Furtado. But this is a very interesting conversation. Tina is my neighbor.
Okay.
Tina is juicing currently and cutting off all kinds of food groups. I thought it was very crazy. We're going to get into why Tina should not be doing that and how physiotherapy can help us after some tracks. Tiano, this is Double O Direct on Spice. Got some Ledisi and Kelly Rowland on the way. But this morning on the socials, the question is, have you ever consulted a nutritionist or a physiotherapist? Either for a specific medical condition or for a lifestyle issue, have you ever consulted any of these wellness experts? Talk to me. SpiceFM KE, let me know. Milka, physiotherapy. Why are people going for physiotherapy that are not injured per se with regards to accidents or diabetes? Why would someone like me go for physio?
Someone like you would go for physio if you want maybe a full body assessment.
Yes.
To check.
I do.
Yeah. You need it, eh?
Imagine I do.
Yeah. If you need a full body assessment, especially in this era of smartphone where people can see you're twitching.
Yeah. I'm constantly doing this. And I'm constantly on my phone looking down.
Yeah, when you're twitching, when people are using their phones a lot. So there's a lot of neck movements.
Yes.
And
like this.
Yeah, like that. And then you realize the nerves that are supplying the arms originates from the neck. So you start feeling tingling sensation on your arm. You definitely know you need to see a physio about that. You feel like your muscles are tight and they are painful. You don't need a massage. You need a physiotherapy assessment.
You don't need a massage. You need a physio assessment.
You need a physio assessment. Yes. I realize most people, you need a physio, but you opt to go for massage because it feels good. And then now by the time you're seeing a physiotherapist, your problem is worse.
Okay.
While if you had come to a physio earlier
so physio doesn't feel good? Just asking for a friend.
It depends.
So what are some of the techniques you use in physiotherapy to make these assessments?
Techniques we use in physiotherapy is manual technique where I'll just use my hands to assess you. I want to see your joint mobility. I want to see your muscle strength, your muscle length, if there's any shortening or lengthening of the muscle. If your joints are unstable, I want to know that. And then after the assessment, then I'll make a diagnosis. And then after diagnosis, we have a treatment plan. My treatment plan will involve short-term goals and long-term goals. So you have come with pain. My short-term goal is to treat your pain, because if you didn't have the pain, you won't have come.
Yes, true.
So my short-term goal is to manage the pain. And then now my long-term goal is to identify the source of the pain and treat it. Because mostly when you come to see a physio, there's a chance you either have joint hypermobility or hypermobility.
Meaning?
Joint hypermobility is your joints are loose. That is like you have muscle weakness. Hypermobility is muscle tightness.
Okay.
So your muscle has shortened. It's called spasms.
Yes.
It's in a way when you have an injury, your muscle automatically shortens to protect.
I had that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about it, right? 30 kilometers.
You did it.
No. Standard Chartered. My right foot, my toes, like stuck together. They were like this. These are my toes.
Should have come to the tent.
The tent was like 12 kilometers away. The tent was not an option.
Yeah.
But a good Samaritan. Thank you, Wilson. Wilson, let me tell you, in the Bible, we have identified the Good Samaritan. His name is Wilson. I took off my shoe. I took off my socks. He's like, you did a pedicure for me, yeah? I'm like, imagine I did. No, I'm like, no, I did not. But so that was a hyper or?
That was hypomobility.
Yeah,
because now you have gotten an injury.
Yeah.
So the muscle around the area where you have the injury automatically
tightens.
They tighten to protect that injury.
I would have had no toes. Let's go quickly to Caroline. Caroline, we're talking about nutrition and what you need, especially at different stages of life. Let's talk about a woman in her 20s, let's say 25 years old.
So a woman in your 20s, we classify that as a sexual maturity age. Yeah.
Mumbi?
So, yeah. So by that time, you're ready to have children, to settle down. So you get a lot of women tend to, they start taking supplements at that point. Yeah. I'm not recommending that you take supplements, because what we do recommend as nutritionists is one, eat food, not supplements. Yeah. So it all depends. So are you trying to get pregnant? If you are trying to get pregnant, if it is a planned pregnancy, ideally you should start planning early. That is nutrition wise, diet wise. So you can start taking your folic acid a month before, increasing your fruits and vegetables intake a month prior your pregnancy, reducing or stop taking caffeine, stop taking alcohol, exercising, because ideally you're preparing the body for pregnancy.
So what are some of these natural foods that natural sources of folic acid?
Fruits and vegetables. They are rich sources of folic acid.
So vegetarians are very, what would you say, what's the word I'm looking for? Fertile. Why are you laughing? I'm just an honest question. They're eating mostly fruits and vegetables.
No, I think we are all fertile. It all depends on your dietary habits. Just provided you incorporate the fruits and vegetables in your diet.
Any particular fruits or vegetables with high amounts of folic acid? That if you see someone eating, you're like, Najua.
No.
She's ready.
She's ready.
I would say just go for any fruit, go for any vegetable. A varied diet is what we recommend, because different fruits and different vegetables, you may find that one has more, of these nutrients compared to another.
But I heard a lot of foods now are fortified. A lot of processed foods now are fortified, and you hear all kinds of vitamins in this food. Should we look for that? Because perhaps, we are not getting enough, or perhaps, we can't actually absorb whatever is being fortified in those foods. So tell me about that.
Yeah, actually it is recommended because what the government is trying to do is to address nutrition security. We have two types of security: food security and nutrition security. Food security is your ability to, fend for yourself, find food, so you have enough to feed your family. Nutrition security is where you may have enough to feed your family, but your diet is not adequate in terms of nutrients.
The quality of it.
The quality of it, yeah.
Yes.
So as a result, what the government is doing is now those nutrients, ideally, that people are prone to be deficient in, they fortify. You find them in unga. There are a lot of foods. Your cereals nowadays are fortified. Yeah, so you can opt for that. There's nothing wrong with going for fortified, foods.
Tell me about physiotherapy, prenatal, during pregnancy, and then
postnatal.
Yes. Because I had, it was, no one tells you how uncomfortable pregnancy is.
Yeah.
You think, okay, I'm going to be pregnant, I'm just going to lie down the whole time, but you can't really lie on your back. So tell me about that.
Actually, if you're planning to get pregnant, the best thing you can do for yourself is strengthen your muscles, especially the pelvic floor muscles. Those are the ones that are most affected during pregnancy. And then now, during pregnancy,
how does one strengthen their pelvic floor muscles?
You have to be active. You exercise, and if you want to strengthen your pelvic floor muscles, you can do things like Kegels. They strengthen pelvic floor muscles. Bridges. There are a lot of exercises.
Bridges help.
Yeah, they help.
Okay.
There are a lot of exercises you can do to strengthen your pelvic floor muscles. And then now during pregnancy, there's a hormone that your body releases. It's called relaxin hormone. It helps prepare you for delivery. So this hormone makes your bones relax. So you realize during childbirth, you might get pelvic injuries, like for example, especially the sacroiliac joint injury. That's why you will find someone is unable to walk after delivery. That is trauma now. That is trauma injury.
Okay.
But other things that can cause pain, issues that you might need a physiotherapy for during pregnancies. Now, when you're pregnant, your back curvature changes also. Your center of gravity changes. The weight on the body also changes.
Yes.
So this put a lot of strains on the lumbar region.
Yes.
Yeah. So with that, it can lead to issues with the nerve compressions, like I don't know if you've heard of sciatica.
Yes.
Everyone has heard of sciatica.
Yeah. Someone told me they ran the marathon, then they just got instant sciatica. I was like, okay, all right, we'll get back to you in a minute.
Yeah. So, and then after delivery, you still also have to keep moving. I think the best thing for someone that is planning or pregnant or after pregnancy is to exercise. And if you don't want to exercise the whole body, just concentrate on your pelvic floor.
Ladies are helping us to live Maisha Fiti. Maisha Fiti. It's really important. It's not just about cutting out food groups. Caroline, can we please stop with the cutting out of the food groups? Okay, as says the vegetarian, but that doesn't mean I don't have protein. I just don't have animal protein. I'm not cutting out protein from my life. Protein is my friend. Gluten, by the way, whenever I see gluten-free, I'm like, kwani gluten ilikufanyia nini?
Exactly.
Gluten uliumiza wewe aje? Gluten and I are like this. Yeah, I'm like, bring me all the gluten. So tell me about some of the fads and some of the nonsense that you come across in your work.
Some of the fads is, and especially for women, when you're trying to lose weight,
Yes.
there are a lot of fad diets.
Juicing,
gluten-free, and actually these are trendy diets that promise quick results in a very short time, and they do work.
Which was that one? Keto?
There's keto diet.
Keto, by the way, is very expensive.
Intermittent
Fasting.
There are those that actually do work, but you need to be guided by a nutritionist. There's also another one, cabbage,
Cayenne pepper.
Cayenne pepper.
I lost my voice na cayenne pepper. My ENT was like, Olivia, you know you're a radio presenter. Kwa nini unakunywa, I don't know, lemon na cayenne?
Yeah.
Hauna sauti.
Hope your voice is insured.
Yeah. You know, with Jubilee, let me tell you. Because it's like J-Lo's backside. Yeah? The insurance on my voice. You don't even want to know.
So yeah, the fat diets do work, but short term.
Okay.
So you'll follow the specific diet, like maybe you're trying to detoxify. You'll detox, fine. You'll lose weight, but you'll gain back that weight within a very short term. So it's important to seek a nutritionist.
Yeah.
There are those that do work. I've seen intermittent fasting work, but it needs to be guided. Ketogenic diets also need to be guided at the keto diet.
But don't you smell on keto? I heard like when people are on keto and they have ketones, they're just really...
The reason being, your concern is their breath.
Oh, they have really bad breath.
Okay, I don't know. That's what you say. The smell.
Yeah, I was told they have a really bad smell.
Reason being is you're not getting carbohydrates, because most of the keto diets is you're told to restrict carbohydrates. Yeah. So as a result, the body ends up, burning. Is it the fat and the reserves?
Yeah.
So as a result, there's usually a keto smell. It's sort of like a sweet smell. I don't know. You can tell when someone has not eaten for long, and especially if their diet is deficient of carbohydrates.
Okay.
Yes, it has to be very guided. If you want to lose weight, or if you want to go on a diet, kindly consult a nutritionist. Do not go to the internet. They only promise you short-term results anyway.
So what should people do in order to lose weight? Especially, let's talk about the average woman in her 30s. She's now 35, mother of 2, maybe 3. Like, she was 60 kilos, now she's 85, 90 kilos. What should she do?
So what happens in a woman's body once you approach 30, when you get to your 30s, is the reason why we pack weight in our 30s is because our basal metabolic rate reduces. So the older you grow, the more your BMR reduces. Yeah. So the BMR is what helps you to even burn calories while you're, even at resting. Yeah. So during digestion, circulation, all these bodily functions require energy. So as you grow older, that function sort of diminishes. So your BMR goes low. So for you to lose weight or to maintain a certain weight, maybe you want to go back to how you used to look in your 20s, I would recommend is one, to work on your basal metabolic rate, increase your water intake. You can increase your food intake, have at least 5 meals in a day. And I'm not talking about really large meals. You can have your
You're getting me very excited. I was there like, this Caroline, I like her. I like, finally someone speaking the language I can understand. 5 meals a day.
Yes, do not cut down, because the mistake people make is once you start gaining weight,
they cut calories, they cut food.
You cut
intake.
calories, you cut food intake. Maybe you start having 1 meal in a day or 2 meals in a day. So what that does is it lowers your basal metabolic rate further, making you gain more weight.
So what portion sizes are you looking at with these 5 meals? So should I take a typical breakfast, and then split it into 2 and have half of it at 8 and half of it at 10?
No, have your meals as normal. Breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Okay.
Breakfast, eat like a king, and dinner, eat like a pauper. But and then in between, snacks. You're not talking about
but everyone wants
large
to take
meals.
me out for dinner. Now they'll be saying, "Kwanini ukuli to go out."
It's allowed. Once in a while, you're allowed to indulge. Especially if someone is treating you out. But your snacks should be very light snacks. It could be a handful of nuts, could be a glass of milk, a glass of tea, provided you have something in your system to keep you going.
So basically, Milka, she was lying to us about 5 meals.
5 meals, yeah.
So it's basically 3 meals na chai.
But it's counted as, it could be even
Namaziwa,
a fruit.
Namaziwa.
Even a fruit.
Nanjugu.
Yeah. And actually what that does is it helps you you get a balanced diet, because you're getting a variety of foods. So today you can have a fruit, tomorrow you can have milk, tomorrow you can have nuts, and the nutrient composition of these foods are different. Milk is rich in calcium, nuts are rich in the omega-3s, and then you have your fruits that they have the vitamins, the fiber. So you're also nutrition secure when you have different meals and you space your meals. Yeah.
I absolutely love it. And I could listen to you forever. I am so sorry, Milka. She took us on another tangent that we did not expect. We're going to come back after 11 with more on physiotherapy, more on nutrition. I'm here with 2 amazing wellness professionals. Thank you so much to Jubilee. This is 00 Direct. SpiceFM live on the homepage of standardmedia.co.ke. I am Olivia Otieno, who will be wearing a posture corrector. Apparently, I've been told by a physiotherapist, when you sit down for long periods of time, wear a posture corrector because it will remind you to sit straight. It won't fix the problem. Fixing the problem in the physio. Right? But this one will stop it from progressing. Standardmedia.co.ke. This is 00 Direct. Saturdays, woman host, music by women, only women guests. This morning on the socials, the question is, have you ever consulted a nutritionist or a physiotherapist in your wellness journey? I'm not talking about weight loss. Fine, maybe for weight loss, but generally, for any reason, have you consulted any of these wellness professionals, a physiotherapist or a nutritionist? Let me know. SpiceFM KE. It is very, very important because we want to make sure you're not going to quacks. You're not getting your info on the interwebs, right? You're going to the professionals like Caroline. Caroline is a nutritionist, and we're talking about the importance of nutrition, especially as you get older, and the foundation you have to lay to make sure you're well in old age. What are some of those things you got to do?
In your 30s and also in your 40s, you need to practice good nutrition. By good nutrition, I mean that your diets need to be balanced. What you're trying to avoid is, we've seen women well in their 50s, when you hit menopause, most of them require supplementation, vitamin D supplements or calcium supplements. And reason being is maybe the practices in your 30s, you didn't consume enough calcium, you're not exercising enough.
I heard a lot of Africans or Black people are lactose intolerant. So does lactose-free milk still incorporate calcium?
Yes, it still has calcium.
And other than dairy, are there other sources of calcium?
There's dairy, it's milk and milk products. So cheese, Yogurt.
There are no vegetables with calcium?
Vegetables, they do the dark green leafy vegetables.
These dark green leafy vegetables.
They are packed with
These
nutrients.
dark green leafy vegetables are like miracle foods, wonder foods.
Yeah.
And they're so cheap. They're like 30 per bunch.
Imagine.
I love it. I love it. Let's go into physiotherapy. Give me some important information, especially for those of us living a very sedentary lifestyle.
Yeah, if you're living a very sedentary lifestyle, please create time to exercise. And also, for those sitting in offices for long hours, just after every hour, just try and stretch before
Chapalap.
Chapalap. Ataenda cho.
Nananga boss akichapalap.
Yeah.
And a meet and greet. Yeah.
Chapalap before going back to work.
Yeah.
Because that sitting for long hours trying to beat the deadline will beat you in the future. It will give you problems. It will bring you to my bed in future. Treatment bed. Treatment bed. Olivia, where are you going?
Okay.
You will need us.
You will need your physiotherapist, right?
So if you want to avoid seeing a physiotherapist, keep moving. We'd rather treat you for muscle strain and these small injuries instead of long-term injuries.
What are some of the, let's say, small stretches and exercises that you can do even as you have a really busy day, in the office? It won't draw too much attention.
If you have a busy day in the office, the best thing you can do is back stretches.
Okay.
Because when in the office, the part of your body that you're straining the most is your spine.
Okay.
So make sure you stretch for at least a minute. Yeah, the way you're stretching right now.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah, you stretch for a minute and then you can go back to work.
Okay.
And then also you make sure you do back stretch. If you don't want to do the aerobics and full body exercises, just do the back strengthening exercises.
What are back strengthening exercises?
The back strengthening exercises, you can do things like bridges, squats while lifting weights. Also, when you're trying to lift something heavy, try and use your knees and not your back. So many people bend forward when lifting something heavy. You are supposed to squat and then stand up with it.
Okay.
Make sure your back is straight when lifting heavy objects, because sudden movements or lifting heavy objects can give you problems like disc slip.
What about the chair you sit on at the office? What should you look for in a chair?
You should look for a curvature, the shape of the chair. But there are no most chairs actually, I realize in the office do not address the back issue. So you can get something like there's something called lumbar roll.
Okay.
You can use something like lumbar roll. It help maintain your back curvature.
What about posture support? Should you be wearing those at the office?
For posture support when you're sitting,
Yes.
that is a lumbar roll is actually a posture support.
Okay.
It's just an object that you can tie on your chair. It is you can move
it's
with
that
it.
cushiony thing.
Yeah,
like
you have
foam.
been given.
I've seen them on the internet.
Yeah. That cushion thing, like a foam, you can if you're driving for long hours, you can put it on your car seat before you sit on it. You can put it on your chair. It just helps maintain the back curvature. It doesn't treat your back.
I've noticed some chairs that have like a headrest. Are those recommended?
I won't recommend a headrest per se, because ideally you're supposed to sit straight.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a headrest just makes you slouch
It hyperly extend your neck, by the way.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go back into nutrition to try and understand some of the foods you need to eat and some of the, the lifestyle diseases that we can avoid with good nutrition.
Actually, I'd like to add on to what Milka has said.
Yes.
Yeah? Keep moving. It also has a nutrition implication. Yeah. So when calcium requires for calcium to be metabolized in the body, you have to be very active. You've probably heard of women who suffer from osteoporosis, osteomalacia. So osteomalacia is the one that comes earlier on, mostly in your 40s, and usually it affects the corporate woman. Reason being, you drive to work, you come, you sit, you don't get the sun, your nutrition is not adequate. So as a result, your calcium starts depleting from your bones.
And what do you feel when you have that?
your bones become brittle. So a slight fall may result into a fracture.
Yes.
So to avoid that is make sure you're getting the sun, that is vitamin D, eat calcium-rich foods, and also keep moving for the calcium to be metabolized and deposited in the bones.
So
Very
if you
important.
have, let's say, breakfast that involves like a bowl of milk or a glass of milk, do you then have to move for that to be metabolized, or is any movement throughout the day sufficient, or movement before even?
Any movement throughout the day is sufficient.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But provided that you're getting the three, you're moving, your diet is adequate in calcium, and you're also getting vitamin D from the sun.
Okay.
Yes.
And when is the best time to go out into the sun?
Before midday.
Okay.
Yes, but even if it's before midday, always leave the house with sunscreen. But after midday, the sun is harmful to your skin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's best saya chai 10 o'clock, head out, chop a few laps, and then come back.
Yeah.
Also stand up and stretch when you're in the office, yeah? Don't sit for too long, like what Milka has mentioned, yeah? So in
But then they'll think
between...
we're idling. When I got to bed too.
If you don't want your boss to think you're idling, just
Carry
walk
on.
faster. Just walk faster to think you're busy.
Yeah, with an iPad.
Yeah.
Carry an iPad. I'm on some sort of file.
And then try to call someone that has not checked
Yeah,
in.
just say,
Have you seen so-and-so?
I know the boss.
Yeah.
He might believe that. He might believe that. Fantastic. So as you head from your 30s into your 40s and beyond, especially postnatal, tell me about your diet. Tell me about the amounts of those macronutrients that you need in terms of caloric intake.
So caloric intake ideally is determined by your body weight and your activity level, yeah? So caloric intake is the same across the board, yeah? The diabetic plate, make sure that the biggest portion is usually your vegetables, your protein, and your the carbohydrate is least, yeah? Also depending on your basal metabolic rate as well. So what I would recommend for women is iron intake. Because you see, at that time you're still going through your menses, you've gone through childbirth, we are prone to anemia. So
Sources of iron?
Sources of iron, red meat, also
green leafy vegetables. Let me tell you, my son's favorite meal: ugali, greens, and egg. Tell me that's not a complete diet.
It's a complete diet. There's protein, there is the vitamin,
from everything
fiber,
from those, everything.
Starch.
Yes,
it's a good meal.
100 bob. The rest is for school fees. Yeah, the school fees in a tour. I'm telling you.
So in your 30s, in your 20s, the nutrients that are very vital, that are very important is iron, calcium, folate.
Okay.
Yeah. So as you get into your 50s, at that time you're more sedentary, and you get women are prone to cardiovascular diseases. So you get a lot of diabetes, high blood pressure, and this is because you're less active. You lead a sedentary lifestyle. Yeah.
Yes.
So your cholesterol levels are high. Your weight is also high, and also at that time is your skin, the ability to convert sunlight to vitamin D also decreases. So you're prone to osteoporosis. There's also, because your estrogen levels are very low, you also get that the bone depletion of calcium from the bones also increases, a condition called osteoporosis.
So you need to also take calcium supplements?
Yes, so you get a lot of women take supplements at that point, but it's not a must that it gets to that point. If you are practicing good nutrition in your 30s and in your 40s, meaning that you're exercising, you're taking adequate calcium, then in your 50s it will retard the rate at which the body loses
Are there any
calcium.
particular foods or substances that deplete vitamins, nutrients from our body that we need to watch out for?
They do not necessarily deplete,
but they harbor intake?
Yes, they affect
Uptake?
the absorption.
Okay.
When we started earlier on, I said food preparation is very important. Yeah. So an example would be when you're making porridge, wimbi, when you're using wimbi flour.
Yes.
When you mix wimbi with milk.
Yes.
So your
I'm listening keenly because I mix Wimby with milk.
It's not recommended.
What?
Yeah, it is not
We are
recommended.
stopping today. Okay, so how should you make your Wimby?
Wimby on its own. If you want to enrich the porridge, you can use margarine. Do not enrich with milk.
Okay. You've just devastated this Otieno household and all its residents.
Another common practice is Kenyans. We love our tea.
Yes.
So you'll have your food with tea. So if you have an iron-rich food,
Yes.
Maybe you're taking red meat, your vegetables,
Yes.
and you have your chai. So the tannins in tea, they are anti-nutrients. So the body does not have the enzymes to digest.
Okay.
So as a result, because the enzymes are not there, it's eliminated as
But
waste.
wait. Question. Are there not tannins in wine as well?
No, I've never had.
What does wine have? We'll have to Google that.
You'll have to Google.
All right, continue.
So the anti-nutrients, what they do is they bind to the nutrient.
Yes.
So the tannin will bind to iron, and since it cannot be digested, it will be eliminated as waste. So tea is not bad, but have tea as a meal on its own. Do not have it with food.
Okay.
Another practice is.
But now we're having our breakfast, na chai. Like
It's okay, it's tea, bread with an egg. So
Yes.
there's no ions.
Okay,
There.
okay.
So it depends on the food that you're eating.
Yes.
Exactly. And also when it comes to cereals, also cereals, they have anti-nutrients. So when you soak your cereals, you've noticed when you soak your beans, there's that color, there's a reddish color.
Yes.
So you need to pour that water.
Okay.
For most of us is when you boil your beans, you use the water as soup. It's not recommended. Because it still has the anti-nutrients that bind to the important nutrients that your body need, like iron. So those are some of the things that,
So I've soaked my beans overnight, right? I've poured that water, and then I've boiled my beans,
Yes.
and then I poured that water
Not really. So if you had soaked the beans
overnight,
overnight and poured the water,
that's okay now.
that's okay now.
All right.
But if you boil them afresh, pour the water. Do not use the water for stew.
Okay.
Yes.
SpiceFM, Double O Direct. I'm Olivia Otieno. Safe space for women. In a few minutes, I reveal my woman in fashion. This gown was made by my woman in fashion this week. And let me tell you, you need to get on to SpiceFM KE to see it in all its glory. Because let me tell you, it is glorious. Right? So you could be the one with me next week as a fashion designer, fashionpreneur, or stylist. But right now, I need to wrap things up with my two guests, physiotherapist Milka and nutritionist Caroline. Milka, parting words?
Yeah, I'd just like to educate people on physiotherapy because most people really confuse it with massage.
And they think it's expensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive. It's 3K.
No, physiotherapy is not expensive.
Ni 3K.
3,000. And actually, when someone is calling you for physio, they'll tell you, wewe ni ule msichana wa massage. Nilikuwa natafuta mtu wa massage.
Yes.
And then now you'll tell them, no, you don't do massage. And actually, this person needed physiotherapy. They just didn't know it was physio.
You know Kenyans,
So you can't say because you have to also study for the profession.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can't go doing massages and then later calling yourself you're a physiotherapist.
Yes.
You lose your sense in along the way.
True.
Yeah. So normally, if you want to know whether you're being treated by actual physiotherapy, most physiotherapists are licensed. Okay. And they are registered by the physiotherapy board.
Okay.
So if you're skeptical about how someone is treating you, ask them for their license. A registered physiotherapist has a physiotherapy license. And then if you don't know when you need a physio, because sometimes you go to a hospital and you needed a physio, but you didn't know, you were given medication, and then you'll just say, oh, no one told me I needed to do physio. So if you have back pain, go for physio. If you did any surgery, post-orthopedic surgery, go for physio. Post-CS, you need physio. You're pregnant, you need physio.
I have all of the above. Option E. All of the above. All of those things. Please, I have all
of those things you need physio.
Yeah.
Just when you go to the hospital, just ask whoever is looking out for you whether you need a physiotherapy, because most people tend to ignore it. And then now by the time you are treating someone, you realize they needed a physio a very long time ago, but they were not informed that they need a physio.
Milka, we're about to be best friends.
Yeah. And also, I can plug you on AR Karen does a free physiotherapy assessment every last Saturday of the month.
And the last Saturday this month is the 29th?
Is the 29th. So go to AR Karen, you will get a free physiotherapy assessment.
Nice. Yule ya massage.
Actually, you will get the difference. And that one is free, so it won't cost you anything. Just transport to AR Karen.
It took me so long to finish the marathon. I didn't come to your AR tent.
Yeah, there was AR tent there. You told me that you were not able to see a physio, and we were so many in the AR tent.
What time did you leave last Sunday?
We left at 2. I think,
of course, I'd finished by then.
You had finished.
I was home.
So many people had finished by the time we left.
Next time. Next
and
time.
All the physio were there. Kina Ken, Kina Wycliffe, they were there.
My boys.
My boys were there.
All right. Caroline is only in a hood. These guys. They're way to get Mambo nutrition.
They were there.
We involved Caroline. Parting words?
My parting words, you are what you eat. Nutrition.
I'm a donut. Today I'm a donut.
No, not what you had for breakfast.
Okay.
Just overall health and well-being. So good nutrition is important. If you're trying to make a lifestyle change, maybe if you want to lose weight, please stay away from.
Can you gain weight in specific areas? Can I specifically say I want to gain weight here? X.
Yes, if you incorporate diet with exercise,
you
need to also engage a fitness expert, because I know I need my glutes to be a bit, bigger, so I'll gain weight, but I need to exercise certain areas so that it's balanced.
Okay.
So those two need to go hand in hand.
You pair the nutrition and the fitness.
Exactly.
Okay.
You can't achieve that through diet alone.
All right.
Yeah. But
so anyone telling you they can, magic tea, magic pill, magic wrap, magic... Forget magic.
Pills. You don't know. No.
Yeah.
So before making any major lifestyle change, especially if you're trying to lose weight, what you've mentioned, seek the advice of a registered nutritionist. Okay. Don't do it on your own. Don't go to the internet because most of the information on the internet is misleading. Yeah. So that's my parting shot.
I love it. Thank you, ladies. We're going to meet again. We're going to interact again. I think there's a whole, movement towards wellness, towards health, towards better quality of life. And I think with a physiotherapist, with a nutritionist, we're on our way there, right?
You actually cannot lose weight without incorporating both.
Exactly. Yeah. They go hand in hand. Yeah.
You will exercise for a year, but if you have not seen a nutritionist, you will not lose weight.
80% is diet.
Because it's diet.
Yeah, exactly.
Losing weight is actually diet. I've seen that in patients.
And as you lose weight, you need a physiotherapist.
Yeah.
Just to manage you.
Yeah.
Milka, Caroline, enjoy your Saturday.
Thank you.
SpiceFM.